A little cherry disease has reached epidemic levels in the Columbia River Basin, especially in Yakima, Benton, and Franklin counties. And the only way to get rid of it is to chop down infected trees. KVU's Emily Goodell reports WSU researchers met with local growers today to demonstrate some of their new efforts to detect the disease before it's too late.
Finding the little cherry disease for a grower is pretty bad news.
When researchers say little cherry disease, they're usually talking about two pathogens that cause similar symptoms in cherry trees.
Small, light-colored fruit that doesn't ripen, and they often taste bitter or like they don't have any taste. And that fruit is not marketable.
Little cherry virus number 1 and 2 is spread by apple and grape mealybugs, while X disease phytoplasma is spread by tiny leafhopper pests as they move from one tree or weed carrying the disease to healthy trees. Both pathogens are difficult to detect.
It's a silent disease that spreads to the orchard because you don't see the symptoms right away. It takes usually up to 2-3 years for symptoms to appear.
And unlike other diseases, the symptoms won't show up on the leaves, just the fruit.
The growers cannot identify the symptoms way ahead in the season. You have to be closer to harvest.
There's no treatment or cure, so if you don't catch it early enough and remove the infected trees, you might end up losing a whole section.
This field behind me used to be filled with cherry trees, but after too many tested positive for little cherry disease, the grower had to remove the entire block and start over.
They're researching whether they can plant new trees in previously infected areas and keep them from getting infected by the root systems. But in the meantime,
the only management strategies that the growers can actively do is to scout their orchards a week or a few days before harvest and mark those trees, send samples to the lab. Once you have confirmed positive in your orchard, the recommendation is to remove it as soon as possible.
That's why researchers are focused on early detection and intervention and are piloting new ways to sniff out the disease.
We're using companion dogs with the Wenatchee Kennel Club. Right now, the dogs are pretty good at detecting the infected samples, but we don't know exactly what they're smelling.
That's a problem other researchers are working to figure out.
They're using like e-nose. They can detect the volatiles in the sample.
Since growers can't market fruit infected with little cherry disease, researchers say you shouldn't worry about seeing it in stores. But even if you did come across one and ate it,
they're just gonna taste bitter or, without taste.
In Yakima County, Emily Goodell, KVU Local News.
Wazoo researchers say anyone who has cherry trees should download the free Little Cherry Disease Scouting Guide. It's an app on their smartphone to help them look for symptoms ahead of the upcoming harvest.